Okay, on this question, they're giving us a bunch of data, like from a calculator, and they're asking us questions about it. A sample of 10 receipts is taken. What is the best prediction for the number of these receipts that were less than 24.96? Less than 24? What is 24.96? It's this right here, the median, which means that's the middle. That's the middle of the data, isn't it? That's the very middle. So now, maybe what would be helpful here is to do a box plot. I think it would. Let me just do a quick little box plot. Remember how the box plot works? You go from basically what we're saying is the middle of the data is right here. And, the median is the middle, 24.96, and the Q1 and the Q3. This is the median. The Q1 is this 18.34, and the third quartile is this 35.72. And then there's up here some max score. I don't know what that is, and some minimum score. So this is how much money 65 customers spent. They're not giving us the minimum, the maximum, whatever. We don't know them. But my point is, this is a box plot. Whenever they first quartile means into the first quarter, which means 25% of the customers spent somewhere between whatever the minimum is and Q1. Remember, Q1 is the end of the first quarter. 25% of the customers are in that section. 25% of the customers are in the next section between Q1 and the median. The median is the middle. 25% of the customers are somewhere between the median and Q3. Q3 means the end of the third quarter, like in a football game or something. And 25% are in the top, after the third quarter up to the maximum. Now, if you take 10 receipts, what is the best prediction for the number of these receipts that were less than 24.96? Well, 24.96 is the middle. So if you just grab 10 receipts at random, how many are going to be below the middle? And how many are going to be, it says less than the middle? Well, probably about 5. And there'd be 5 above. I mean, who knows? It's random. You're just grabbing 10 receipts at random. But the best prediction, probably, since 24.96 is the middle, probably there's going to be 5 below and 5 above, because that's the middle, the average of all those receipts. So probably 5 of them, 5 out of the 10, half, since this is the middle. Half are below the middle, half are above. It's best prediction. Next question. It says 25% of all receipts were more than how much money? 25% more than this amount, right? The top 25% were more than Q3. More people spent more than $35.72. 25% of all the receipts were more than that. And next question. 25% were less than how much? 25% were less than 1834, right? That's the bottom 25%. And what percent, next question, what percent of all receipts were between 1834 and 3572? 1834 and 3572, 25 and 25, 50%, right? 50%, 50%. That's the middle half, right? What is the population standard deviation? That's S sub X. I'm just going to skip that question. We don't have that. And because they didn't give us that. Skip. Oh, yeah, no, they did. I'm sorry. 6.34. It's right here. This right here is SD, standard deviation, 6.34. I didn't see it there. 6.34. So that is the standard. It's another symbol, that weird looking symbol. That's a Greek S, basically. That's a Greek. The Greek, we use a lot of Greek alphabet in systems. That's a Greek S for standard deviation. Last one. How many standard deviations below the mean is the first quartile? That might strike you as a really weird question. Like, how in the world did we do that? We never learned anything about that. Well, we actually did. Whenever they say how many standard deviations, you need to realize that means Z-score. Z-score is how many standard deviations above or below the mean. It's the Z formula. So from the notes, that's score. So you got to recognize those words on the exam. You got to recognize when they say how many standard deviations above or below the mean. You got to recognize that's Z-score. They don't need to say Z-score. You need to recognize, oh, that's Z-score. Okay, so that means take the score. Now, what's the score? First quartile, Q1. So I'm going to take Q1. What is the Q1 score? Right there. First one to 1834. See how I went and got that? 1834 Q1 minus the mean. Now, what's the mean? This is actually the mean. Let me write that here for you. This is the mean. This is a Greek, another Greek letter. Sorry, that's a Greek M. And it looks like a U. You're like, that's a U. Well, it's a Greek M. Sorry, for mean. 27.52. What it was? 27.52. Yeah. Over the standard deviation. What's standard deviation? It says 6.34 number. So divide into the calculator. Make sure you hit enter, then hit divide. You got to hit enter before you hit divide, or it won't come out right. So let me see. I'm getting negative 1.4479. Let me see what the options are on this question. Yeah, 1.448. So 1.448. They already said the word below. So the negative is understood. You might think, oh, there's no negative. Well, they said below. Below means negative. So that's the right answer. That's how we do that. There we go.